Welcome student on another video lecture. Topic is biosynthetic pathway. In that we have already covered about how the synthesis will take place, what are the different biosynthetic pathway which follow by the plants to synthesize secondary metabolites. Now after that various tracer techniques we have studied, which different techniques they are used to determine the site of synthesis, as well as which biosynthetic pathway, what are the different intermediates that are produced during that biosynthetic pathway, and after addition of certain artificial intermediates, how they will follow the path and they will synthesize different secondary metabolites. Now the compound, radioactive compound which is inserted in the part of the plant or in the parenchymatous tissue of the plant, that label compound, how it will synthesize the different secondary metabolites, and the separation of these secondary metabolites and determination of that label compound is very necessary. So that we can find out which secondary metabolite that could be synthesized by using that particular label compound, and what is the site of synthesis of that particular secondary metabolite. For that there are separation techniques are there. Separation of compound is depend upon the type of plant material. Which type of plant material is that? According to that there are different separation techniques are there. First one is soft and fresh tissue. If the plant material is soft nature and it is a fresh tissue, then maceration and infusion techniques are used. Hard tissue decoction, hot percolation methods are used. And for unorganized drug, means those drugs which are not having proper cellular structure, such drugs are known as unorganized drug. And to carry out the separation of that unorganized drug, maceration technique is used. Now what is meant by maceration? Maceration is the process which involves the separation of medicinal active portion of the crude drug in a bulk of solvent. So the solvent is in large quantity, and in that the crude drug or fresh drug material that is placed, and the whatever the active constituent or medicinally active principles, they get separated from that crude drug in presence of that solvent, that is known as maceration. Now how the maceration is performed? For that it require a closed container, and in that closed container, stoppered container, solid material is placed with near about 750 ml of menstruum. Menstruum is the solvent which is used in the process of maceration. So the solvent is added, that is 750 ml in a closed container. The drug material, solid drug material is taken, and in that 750 ml of menstruum is added, and it is allowed to stand in a warm place for a period of 3 to 7 days. And within that period of 3 to 7 days, occasional or frequent shaking is done, and the mixture of crude drug with that menstruum, then it is filtered, and during filtration more liquid or complete washing of that solid material is done by adding more menstruum or more solvent, and so as to produce the volume up to 1000 ml of the solution. That is the simple maceration process. This maceration process is modified, and it will to lower down the time period, that is 3 to 7 days. Double and triple maceration techniques are used. In case of double maceration and triple maceration, the crude drug material that is macerated with solvent for 1 hour, and that filtrate is taken. Again same crude drug material is macerated with near about 750 ml of solvent, and for 1 hour, and both the macerates they are mixed, and volume is make up and it is concentrated. Such maceration is known as double maceration. Here in case of triple maceration, the solvent is divided into 3 portions, and these three portions are macerated the drug for 3 times, and first and second macerate is macerate is kept as it is, second and third is mixed and it make concentrated, and the volume is finally make up with up to 1000 ml. So these are the different maceration technique, that is double and triple maceration. After that, modified maceration method is also used. In case of modified maceration method, the crude drug is placed in a charge extractor and it is connected to circulating pump, and along with number of tanks are connected to receive the extraction solution, and such type of extraction is known as modified maceration method. And the advantage of this process is solvent is added and circulated in the extractor containing drug and remove the extract solution and stored in the receiver tank, and 3 times this process is repeated and you are getting a more concentrated extract by using this modified maceration method. After that, certain other methods are used, that is infusions. There are 2 type of infusions, fresh infusion and concentrated infusion. To prepare that fresh infusions, just place the drug with 5 ml solvent and for a period of 15 minutes, and after that it is strained through the strainer, and when it will strain through the strainer, more solvent is added so that complete washing of the drug material should be done, and volume is make up to 100 ml. So such in that fresh infusion, both cold and boiling water both are used. Here the drug is not boiled with the solvent, but the boiling water is just added in the drug, and it is kept for a period of 15 minutes. After 15 minutes it will strain through the strainer, and more washing is done by adding more solvent, and volume is make up to 100 ml. And the ratio of menstruum and drug ratio is 1:20 ratio is used, and it is liable for the microbial growth. So fresh infusion should be used within 12 hours. Within 12 hours fresh infusion should be used, because after that the microbial contamination may occur in fresh infusion. Concentrated infusions, these are more concentrated, 8 times more concentrated than fresh infusions, and the ratio of drug to menstruum ratio is 1:2:5. And to prepare that concentrated infusion, maceration or percolation techniques are used in case of concentrated infusion. After that, decoction and infusion is generally carried out with soft tissue, and for collection of volatile oil, all these vitamins or those drugs which are heat sensitive, they can be macerated or separated. They can be separated by using infusion technique, and the drug material is soft or fresh tissue. And in case of hard tissue, decoction method is used. In case of decoction method, the drug is boiled with solvent, and generally water is a solvent which is used in decoction process. So the drug is boiled with the solvent for 10 to 15 minutes. After 10 to 15 minutes, it is kept for a period of 1 hour, so that complete extraction will take place, and it is filtered through the strainer and collected, and volume is maintained up to 100 ml. That is the decoction process. Now, hot percolation or percolation method. In case of percolation, percolators are used. The percolator is an instrument in which the drug is packed. It is a V-shaped vessel and the drug is packed. Before packing it, the drug is imbibed with the solvent for a period of 1 to 2 hours, and After imbibition, then the crude drug material, it is packed in the percolator. After packing in the percolator, the solvent is added and allow the solvent to saturate, and when the solvent will come through the outlet pipe, then close the knob and place the lid on it. More solvent is added and kept for a period of 24 hours for percolation. After 24 hours, the percolate is collected and more solvent is added, so that complete drug should be collected and washing of the bed should be done, and volume is make up to near about 1000 ml. Such type of percolation is known as, such type of method is known as percolation. And these percolators are percolation method is also modified in that series of percolators. They are attached, one percolator is attached to another percolator, and in this way series of percolators are attached, and you can add the menstruum from any solvent from any percolator and collect the product from any percolator, because all they are attached to one another, and in this way it will reduce the time of percolation, as well as more concentrated extract can be collected from this modified percolation method. So these are the different techniques which are used for separation of active constituent, that is secondary metabolites, which are synthesized by the plant or which are synthesized by different parts of the plant, and in this way the separation of that active constituent or secondary metabolite is done. After separation, then the identification of label compound is done, and to carry out this separation there are different solvents which are used, and the type of the solvent which is used is depend upon the type of material, which type of material is there, and which type of constituent that should be separated. Fat, oil, alkaloid, glycoside, in that case non-polar solvents are used. Non-polar solvents are those solvents in which the bond between atom are having similar electronegativity, and the example is carbon and hydrogen. The bond between carbon and hydrogen, they are having similar electronegativity, they are known as non-polar solvent. Whereas polar solvents are those solvents in which the atom is in between the atoms, the bond between the atom is of having high electronegativity, known as polar solvent. So for fats, oil, alkaloid, glycoside, non-polar solvents are used, and for to collect the flavonoid or separate the flavonoids, slightly polar solvents are used, and for separation of phenols polar solvents are used. So these are the different types of solvent, and the selection of solvent is based upon which type of material is there and which active constituent that should be separated. If the constituent or secondary metabolite is polar solvent like water and methanol is used, whereas non-polar constituent like alkaloid and glycoside, non-polar solvents are used like hexane and all these. So such type of solvents which are used for extraction method, and these are the different separation techniques which are used for separation of active constituent. So if you like my video, please press the like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you.